And now we have competitor number 3, Ammolite BioModels Inc., providing feeling to the next generation of simulated bone model solutions for competency-based surgical training.
Good afternoon. The problem that we are addressing is that paid surgeons are currently mostly practicing, learning their procedures on people. And the reason is because current bone models, they're not very realistic, they don't provide any feedback, or they're too expensive. So the first problem that we have particularly attacked is the spine, because we happen to have a spine surgeon as part of our team. And in spine surgery, this particular spine surgery, they put rods up and down the spine, and the screws get anchored into the vertebra. The problem, as you can see in the middle, is that the spinal cord is right in the middle there. So those screws, you do not want to be going into that spinal cord. On the left, you see an example where that was the case, and that can lead to paralysis. So our solution is to come up with a realistic, cost-effective bone model that we're creating an entire teaching system. So we have our bone model that was created by Aubrey that feels more realistic. It feels more like bone. The loads are similar to what we measured in the cadaveric. And so one surgeon said, when I close my eyes, I could imagine that was real bone. So that's our goal, is it feels like real bone. It creates a better training experience. We want to combine that with software feedback. So we're creating an entire teaching system that will guide them through the steps of the surgery. They'll say, well, what if this goes wrong? Then what are you going to do? What are the consequences of doing it like this? So that we're training the physical skills, we're training the mental skills, and then the third component is to have some sensor feedback. So as you can see in the upper right, we'll tell them, have you done it right? Have you done it wrong? How have you compared to the experts? How have you compared to your peers? And you'll be given a score. And so this is giving feedback to the user, also to the people who are judging that user. Also, have you achieved that skill? Have you achieved that competency? From a business point of view, this is being driven by the fact that the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons has already mandated surgical simulation centers. So those are growing up all over the country. Similarly, by 2017, they've mandated competency-based training. And so we are going to make heroes out of the people who are implementing this by giving them a solution. Because right now they have to judge the competency, but how do you know how that competency is being judged in an objective manner? 4,500 new surgical residents every year, variety of procedures, variety of options. Every time they use one of our bone models, they have to throw it out and use another one. And we want to be an integrated solution provider, pulls all that together, provides the competency-based training so that we are the go-to company for surgical training.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before the 3-minute Q&A starts, I'm going to make a universal announcement to judges and all competitors, because our first competitor, we gave the first competitor an additional 30 seconds, and because I then granted the second competitor the extra 30 seconds. Everybody will get the extra 30 seconds for the Q&A, but I will make it a hard stop in the 30 seconds post. So you get the 33-minute countdown for Q&A, plus 30 seconds to answer the last question, but answer the last question within 30 seconds. Thanks. Go.
Who's got a question? Oh, over here, John. Oh, I'm coming fast.
Right. Oh, look at this. One of the competitors asking a question.
Okay. I was just wondering if you considered your competitors in virtual reality and how you may compete against them in the future, because there's some very advanced virtual reality tools coming out, including haptic feedback.
This was actually John's question as well, so carry on.
Perfect, then I'll address it for both of you. Virtual reality has a lot of the advantages that we're talking about, the steps of the surgery. What it's not training is the physical. So in part, we have that physical model that feels real. Orthopedic surgeons, I think you can agree, they like the physical feel of doing that process. And the muscle memory is advantageous. The other issue with the haptics is, in fact, it doesn't carry the loads. We overload a haptic sensor. Aubrey measured the forces. We know what the forces are in the real human body. Ours match that, and they exceed what a haptic simulator can manage.
So for example, a haptic simulator generally can push back about 5 newtons of force, and in the orthopedic example, it's closer to 200 newtons that they're exerting on the spine.
Hi, it's Jason Innes here. I just have a question relating to funding. How are you guys funding things so far? Are you doing it full-time? And if not, how are you guys planning to get to that point?
So at the moment, I'm a professor here at the university. Rick is a combination of spine surgeon and entrepreneur. He has another company he's working on. Aubrey, we have something, we're funded by NSERC. It's an idea to innovation grant. So we're at the perfect stage where we have a product that we know has this rationale, the desire for people to have this product. And idea to innovation, now we're making it into this commercializable product. We are working with an orthopedic company that has shown an interest in us developing a particular model. We're hoping to produce that, and they will be paying for us, hopefully, by the end of the fall. And we're putting some other steps in place as well.
I'll just say a quick word on that is that we're trying to define the use case appropriately and to define where the dollars will flow. And then when we're able to do that, then we can start to think about how we can scale. And so it's at that point we'll probably be looking for external funding, but until now we're going to bootstrap and grant, try to keep the equity flow or equity within the group as tight as possible. I think that ultimately that will serve us well in the longer term future. And we want to get this to the point where we can start to grow and then find the appropriate funding at that point.
And here's your last question.
What's the market size, price for the product, cost to manufacture? Any sense on that?
We want to frame this as an entire teaching system. And so our bone models are cost effective. We can produce them fairly inexpensively, but we want to sell more than the bone models. We want to sell that entire system and sell the competency so that we are known to be providing that valuable training. So perhaps $500 for an entire competency kit that combines those models,
Thanks
the
very much.
teaching,